Hello, this is Frost, and I want to go over everything you need to know about Frost DK in Midnight, the next expansion. I will go over Deadbringer and Rider of the Apocalypse, and also a lot of efficient damage tricks that you need to do to do big damage, and how to play Frost DK in general. First thing I want to go over are macros. The first macro you're gonna want is something called Frostbane. You see here I have /cast Frostbane, /cast Clash of Advance. Frostbane is one of the strongest talent that we have in Midnight. It got buffed and is doing really ridiculous amount of damage in AoE and on the primary target. So even in single target, it's doing really good damage. Thanks to Shattering Blade. If you read here, it says Frostbane consumes the Razor Ice on your main target to deal an additional 300% damage. This is what's making it really strong, on top of its AoE component that already exists. This macro, the way it works, it's my number 3 here. Basically, in AoE, when I press Glacial Advance, it shoots a Glacial Advance. But I'm going to get a proc. You see here, I proc Frostbane, right? And basically, let me just fix this real quick. For some reason, it's not showing. Alright. Alright. So I have a proc of Frostbane, but if I press this macro, it's gonna consume the Frostbane instead of pressing Glacial Advance, which Frostbane replaces Frost Strike, which is completely useless in AoE. But Frostbane is like way better than Glacial Advance. And Frostbane also costs RP. So you always want to prioritize Frostbane here. So here, instead of pressing my Frost Strike keybind, I'm just gonna keep pressing the Glacial Advance keybind. This is really something that you will understand why it's so strong as soon as you try it on the retail or on the beta, because basically in AoE you're always cycling in between Frostbite, Glacial Advance, but now you're cycling with Frostbane, Frostbite, Glacial Advance. So instead of having to react to your Frostbane, you simply can just Frostbite, Glacial Advance. If your Frostbite procced Frostbane, then you'll consume the Frostbane right away without even seeing like the animation of Frostbane proccing. This is just a min-max thing to consume your proc like a second early and not waste anything. Let's go over why Frostbite can proc Frostbane. So Frostbane procs from Glacial Advance. Glacial Advance is multiple ways to proc it. Either press it like this, and just pressing the ability can proc. See, I procced it just by pressing Frostbane here. Or we have a talent called Arctic Assault. Every time you consume a killing machine, you fire a Glacial Advance through your target. So this means when I press my Frostbite here, it's gonna shoot Glacial Advance, and those Glacial Advances can proc Frostbane for me without me pressing Glacial Advance. So this is why instead of using Glacial Advance, we want to be using Frostbane after our Frostbite. If it procs, the proc sense is really high on 3 target. Okay, next macro is the Pillar of Frost. All right, so let's go with the let's go with Deadbringer first. So Deadbringer got buffed. It's really strong. Rider of the Apocalypse is also strong, and we'll go over it after. So the way we want to play Deadbringer, okay? Deadbringer here is all about Reaper's Mark. The easy thing about Frost Decay is that you can just macro Reaper's Mark with Pillar of Frost. Just like this here. Slash cast Pillar of Frost, slash cast Reaper's Mark. Basically, I'm hit the dummy, and all I'm doing is I press Pillar here, boom, and then it put the mark on it, and that's it. That's how you're gonna start your rotation every single time you come into a pack. Now, when you press Pillar, you gain a charge of Empowering Weapon. Empowering Weapon can only have 2 charges, but we can get a third one only from Pillar. That third one is essentially free. The problem is that it doesn't start the cooldown of Empowering Weapon. So you're gonna want to min-max your Empowering Weapon like aggressively. So here, what I'm gonna do, you can see I have 2 stack of Empowering Weapon, and don't forget, Empowering Weapon gives you a killing machine, so it's always helpful. So here, what I'm gonna do, before I start my Pillar, always consume your killing machine. So I consume my killing machine. I'm about to press my Pillar's macro, and you can see here my Empowering Weapon has 3 thingies. So I want to press it no matter what. Like, I even want to press this one too. I want to get it on CD. Like, you see here, it starts recharging. I don't want to be wasting time. Like, I know, I want the ability to start recharging itself. I don't want it to just stay at 2 stack, 3 stack. Okay? And let me just wait for it to recharge fully. And you'll see here that it only goes to 2. It only goes to 2. But when you press Pillar, you gain 1 extra charge, which doesn't count towards the cap, which is 2. Okay. Now, that's pretty much it for the macros. The other macros are just AMZ on top of yourself, D&D to slow mobs, a focus kick, and a focus mouse over. If I mouse over something and I press this macro, it's gonna put whatever my mouse is on a focus. Really useful for targeting like a caster and targeting something else. Okay, now let's go over Frostform's Fury. So Frostform's Fury is basically how you play Frost Decay in Midnight. We have our new Apex talent. Basically, it's all about Frostform's Fury. When you press Frostform's Fury, you do more damage, you gain haste, and it also extends the duration of Pillar of Frost. Basically, what you want to do is simply press Frostform's Fury after the Pillar macro with Reaper's Mark. So here what I'm going to do is basically press Pillar, which going to cast Reaper's Mark. And then at the same time, I'm going to press my Dragon right after, the GCD after. And don't forget, I also want to make sure that I consume my Empowering Weapon because I'm going to get 1 for free. So basically, I'm going to be pressing Frostform's Fury at the same time as Empowering Weapon right after my Pillar of Frost. And then I immediately going to Obliterate or Frost Sight because I'm guaranteed to get a proc of Killing Machine of Empowering Weapon. So if you look up here on the right, there's going to be my rotation here, okay? So I'll just wait for it to go away. Alright, so you can look here and I'll show you real quick. So Pillar, something like that. You know what I mean? So that's the really first few GCDs you're gonna go every single time. Now, you can see here, my procs are all here. My Reaper's Mark exploded. When it explode, you get these Exterminate. Okay, so one other thing is Exterminate. After Reaper's Mark explode, you gain 2 sight. It's called Exterminate. All right. You can only track it with the buff. It doesn't replace any ability, but basically these exterminate only stack to 2. Just like Empire Rune Weapon, it goes to only 2. So basically, the way you want to play around them is to be aware that you only want to be using them if you have a killing machine. Okay, so I'm gonna press my pillar macro just to show. Alright, so this is my killing machine here. Okay, so in 5 seconds, my Reaper's Merc is gonna explode. And you'll see my proc here is gonna show. There you go. So now this is my exterminate. So this is my killing machine, and this is my exterminate. And you can see here my I'm gonna get rid of my killing machine here. You can see that my obliterate or frost sight is glowing, but I don't have a killing machine. Like now I have a killing machine, but it was glowing before. Basically, that's a bait. You only want to use this proc with this. So right now I will use it. Boom. You only want to use those exterminate, and you can see my character did some sight thing. I'll do it again. So I'll show you real quick. I'm gonna proc it. Boom. I have 2 stack of exterminate, but I don't want to press it now because I don't have a killing machine. Now I want to generate a killing machine, and now I want to press it. And now I have another one. I want to press it again. Okay? Always consume your exterminates with killing machine. Otherwise, just keep Empire Rune Weapon at 1 stack or 0. You might have to. Howling Blast, never use it by itself. Only use it when you get a proc, when it glows up. It can be something you press when you're not sure what to do. Okay, I wouldn't worry too much about the priority of things, but it is useful. It reduces the cooldown of Empire Rune Weapon. Empire Rune Weapon is basically a tool for resources. It gives you a proc. So the reason why it's important is that basically you never want to press these buttons, obliterate, howling blast, frost sight, without a proc. Basically, there are times where it's gonna happen where you don't know what to press, and you'll need to press Empire Rune Weapon, because Empire Rune Weapon, if I press it, it gave me a proc. You see? So you need to use it as a tool to get you out of trouble, to provide you with a proc. Okay, now next thing, we have a talent here called Obliteration. Everybody should know this. During Pillar of Frost, every time you press Frost Strike, or Glacial Advance, or Frostbane, or Howling Blast, Rhyme procs, you'll generate a killing machine for free. So the flow of the rotation is pretty smooth. You're always going to be guaranteed to get a killing machine as soon as you press one of the those abilities. So that means that you're going to be rotating between like Frost Sight, Glacial Advance, Frost Sight, Glacial Advance, right? And honestly, it's really that simple. As far as other things about Deadbringer, I guess I can go over the second part of our Apex talent. You can see here at the end it says rank 3. Frostworms 3 deals 100% increased damage. After Frostworms flies away, you may cast Frostworms 3 again to recall it at 50% effectiveness. And I'm gonna show you this right now. So I press Frostworms 3. Okay, and now you can see it transformed into a different button. Okay, let me just also track it somewhere. I can maybe show it to you real quick if I can find it. Probably can't find it. It's okay. You can see here my number 6. Okay, it's basically if I click it again, the dragon is gonna come back. I'm gonna do it right now. There you go. All right. This basically gives you all the effect of Frostworms 3. on the min. Frostform 3 is 1.5, Pillar is 45. This means that you're going to be able to press Pillar with Frostform 3, and the cooldown of Frostform 3 will be back on the next pillar after the next one. So, you know, one thing you will probably be doing is the recall. Let's say when you press Frostform 3 and you call it again, you basically can decide if you want to call it again within the next like 45 seconds. So I'm gonna show you here what I mean. All right. So I'm just gonna press Pillar here, and I'm gonna press Frostform 3. Okay. Now, Pillar has 40 seconds, right? 45 seconds. Now, you can see here my thing. I can recall it whenever I want. You can see up here it has a cooldown. It's this. It's called Chosen of the Frost Brood. You may recall your Frostworm, and it has a 25-second left. Okay, and you can see here Pillar has 20 seconds left. So my Pillar will come back as my recalling of Frostworm 3. This basically means that you can effectively have your 1.5 minutes. So here I'm gonna Pillar, and right after I Pillar, I'm gonna recall my dragon, boom. And it had 1 second left on it. This is basically how you sync your Frostworm 3 with every single pillar. This is really huge for a few things. Frostworm 3 got a few changes. Now, when you play Deadbringer, you'll see here we have a new talent called Echoing Fury. The second part is important. Casting Frostworm 3 grants 2 stack of Exterminate. Now, Exterminate, okay? They only go up to 2. The problem right now is that when you press Pillar and Reaper's Mark, as soon as the Reaper's Mark explode, you are given 2 stack of Exterminate. When you press Dragon, you are given 2 stack of Exterminate. Exterminate can only go up to 2. This means when you press Pillar and the mark explode, you do not want to be using Frostworm 3. And I'm gonna show you right now, okay? Just keep looking here. I'm gonna press Pillar and Reaper's Mark, and I'm gonna proc my Reaper's Mark. Okay, I'm not gonna press Dragon or anything. I'll just show you how fast it is. And boom, I have 2 stack of Exterminate right now. So now, I do not want to use my Dragon. I basically want to spend those 2 stack first, and now press Dragon. And then I gain 2 other stack. Alright? And you can do that really fast in Pillar. Okay? It's just that you need to pay attention. The reason why this is happening is because your Reaper's Mark is basically exploding too fast and giving you your Exterminate really quickly. That's why you cannot do Pillar into Dragon. Okay? So I guess in a perfect world, what you want to do is you Pillar and then wait for your Exterminates, use them, then Dragon. Alright? Consume them again, alright? That's it. Okay. That's pretty much it. I will go over Rider of the Apocalypse real quick, okay? It's very, 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 very similar. And honestly, I'm only gonna go over one thing. That's it. The only difference is basically you don't have to worry about like those Exterminate. Rider of the Apocalypse is all passive. As soon as you press your Frostworm's Fury, you summon 4 people to help you. Okay? Those are all passive damage. They do a bunch of different things that you don't have to worry about. Okay? The only thing you have to worry about is the macro. There's a new macro here. It's /cast Pillar of Frost /cast Frostworm's Fury. honestly, it eases the rotation even more. All right, now you go into it and you do the same thing. You press the macro, but this time instead of reverse mark, it's gonna cast Frostrum Series, so you have one less button. And remember, when you press this, you want to press Empower Rune Weapon. So you press the macro, it's gonna shoot a dragon, Empower Rune Weapon, you know, and then you just go with your rotation, which is like the obliteration rotation, right? You just alternate. Every time you press Frost Strike, you want to press Obliterate. You know, Glacial Advance, Obliterate. You know, Rhyme, Obliterate. And that's within Pillar. And the same thing works with the dragon here, the Recall. You can see my number 6. I'm not tracking it right now, but it has a 17 seconds left, 15 seconds left. So it's gonna come at the same time as Pillar. So if you really want, you could cast it a little bit before. But here, Pillar 4, 5, 3. I want to press it as soon as possible. Press it, and it's gonna recast my dragon, and boom, you just go again. You know, you just alternate between, you know, your spender and your, and that's it. So I hope you like it, and honestly, you can always ask me questions, and I'll go into more specifics with you if you want. So thank you.